And welcome back to the Crypto Show's Digital Cash Evolution right here in Phoenix. And definitely come out tonight to Classic Crust Pizza and get your wallet, get some free cryptocurrency, buy a beer with some crypto, buy a slice of pizza. Come out and see it in action with Doug, and he will definitely walk you through that and help you get going on cryptocurrency. Also, check out our sponsors, Dash.org, which is a Phoenix company, and Defense Distributed has got a little gift for us to give away. So if you're a gun enthusiast out there and you think you might be interested in making your own gun at home with a desktop CNC milling machine, if you can talk one of the local gun dealers in town into being a distributor for the Ghost Gunner, we will send you a free Ghost Gunner. And that's valued at about $2,000. So get out there and knock on the doors at the gun shops and get the Ghost Gunner going there. Doug, you there?
Yeah, yep.
So you got anything else you want to wrap up on? We were going to talk about some tech stuff too.
Sure. Okay. And we'll encourage you guys to call in if you have questions. Call the station here, 602-277-KFNX. That's 277-5369. You know, I just wanted to touch on the idea of money printing by the government as an addiction. This comparison of printing to the behavior of an addict. And so I've heard this from multiple economists and libertarian thinkers, and the money printing, there are so many parallels to the idea of money printing by the government. Money printing is like getting their fix, and we all know that what the addict truly needs, the hair of the dog, when the alcoholic reaches for his beer in the morning because the side effects of not getting alcohol in the system are way worse. And so he just gets that fix again. But he knows that that's really, to truly get better, that's what he needs to do, is to detox. And we know that the only safe way, or really the only way to start to recover from runaway inflation is to make cutbacks and not continue mass printing. That is the healthy way, and unfortunately the reason why that doesn't go over well in government is because that is you don't get reelected when you say, we need to cut spending in areas.
It's not so much that they're printing, because only about 7 or 8% is in cash and coin. The rest is just digital anyway.
Right.
So Correct. They're basically forging cryptocurrency out there is what they're doing.
Yeah, if you really dig into it, 90% of the money that does get created in the system is through the banking system itself, through mortgages and loans, where they just bloop, we'll create an account for you.
Which brings you brings you back around to, well, what happens to Bitcoin if the power grid goes down? If there's an EMP, then what happens?
Right.
Well, what's going to happen to your dollar? There's only going to be about 7 or 8% left, and it's in cash, and you don't have any. So
yeah, but that money printing is definitely an issue, and I'm not aware in all of my research of any government or money entity in human history that has actually recovered from that situation successfully. I think they always have to press the reset button, and that's the cryptocurrency is going to bring a fundamental economic change, and I kind of call that to the fractalization of niches. Every little community is going to have a change that's going to happen because of these cryptocurrencies coming into their space and disintermediating things. One of my clients, by the name of Alarmex, they are moving into the security space. They have a product, device that's going to be prototyping. They're one of these many tokens that are going to do a private sale up front to raise money to build the product. But this is a real product that they're going to be developing that'll be disintermediating, I think is the term, all of the security companies out there. But their intent is not to replace security companies, it's to enhance them. So the blockchain is going to be a dash fork, and I think this is a good example of how we can understand and how cryptocurrencies or tokens can be used differently than just as money, because these little devices are going to use those tokens to send information. And that's the thing that happens with every one of these transactions that you do on these blockchains is you're just sending information with your private key. You're using cryptographic math to send information to the blockchain, and it gets broadcast across all these nodes. Well, Alarmex is doing a similar thing. It's got a device that's going to broadcast information across all these nodes, but rather than giving permission to certain amounts of Bitcoin, as it happens on the Bitcoin network, it's going to send snippets of audio or video that it captures to the decentralized blockchain, and you're going to have a more secure mesh network security system on top of it. And the centralized securities companies, they won't have to be doing the monitoring anymore. You can have emergency services notified. You can have video come to your phone. There's going to be all kinds of options. And these are the kinds of changes that we're going to see.
Well, why don't they just do it with the dollar?
See, you can't. It's just not fast enough. It's not secure enough. And because it's going to be a Dash fork, this is going to give people an opportunity to own a masternode in addition to their security system and basically pay for their own security with the ownership of that masternode.
But with the dollar, if I put $1 in, they get to make 10 more for me, right?
That's true. Yeah, I love how that works. And we really won't feel that dilution until, our grandchildren have to pay the price, really.
I see the dilution every time I go to the grocery store. It's like the stuff is going up and up and up.
Yeah,
at a pretty rapid rate.
When you get to a certain age, you kind of start to see it. It's like, oh wait, bread wasn't that expensive just even a decade ago, or the milk or whatever you buy. If you're buying groceries for any period of time, it usually takes a decade or two before you feel it or see it.
$3 bottle of water,
right? Yeah, it's hitting everywhere.
It's crazy.
Well, and I tell people, like, when you're looking at the Bitcoin price, what you're seeing is not the value of Bitcoin going up necessarily, because there hasn't been any changes, really significant changes to the Bitcoin network. What you're actually seeing is the value of the dollar going down, being recognized in a new stable asset called Bitcoin or cryptocurrency.
Right. Yeah, cryptos don't go up. The dollar just goes down.
Right.
There's another one. I don't really know a lot about this technology. It's called Power Ledger. And what they're hoping to solve is to be able to distribute solar power to the customer, and you would just use your cryptocurrency to pay for the power.
Yeah, I'd heard about that, and that's what I love about these decentralized tokens, or these. I don't know do you know if it's an open blockchain, public open source?
I'm not sure yet. I want to find out more about that, because in Phoenix, solar is a pretty big deal, and
okay.
I think even on KFNX, there's someone named Solar Sandy.
Right.
We need to get her hip to Power Ledger.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, these kind of fundamental services, to share those is going to be really important. And I think on that note, it's really important to even mention that the Dash network had completed a project, I think it was earlier this year or maybe late last year, with NREL, the National Research Energy Laboratory, that was experimenting on how to distribute or accept payments for electricity for your home electricity.
Are you familiar with what they're doing at ASU right now?
Well, I know they got a couple of things going. There was a paper released recently by one of the doctors there, Dr. Tapp, who's been teaching on Bitcoin for a long time and has teamed up with the Dash team to do research experiments on network propagation and scaling issues. I think is the main focus right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's going on all around the country, even MIT and several others. It's not just Dash; it's multiple. They're doing it with Bitcoin and others as well. But it's great to see that cryptocurrencies are getting involved in colleges and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I've heard about a lot of grants coming from different cryptocurrency foundations. I think Digibyte has some grants going on. I think the Litecoin Foundation had recently done some things. Even Zcash was involved in was it Stanford? I could be wrong with those specifics, but I know that there's a number of cryptocurrencies involved with a lot of different educational institutions.
Yeah, the last time you were on the show with us, we had Connie on from BitGive, and that's another area that cryptocurrencies are stepping up. You don't see the government doing so much.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's an attempt to get the crowdfunding efforts. Go on, Doug.
Oh, Tanner, do you have something?
No, nothing. I'm just listening to you guys talk over here. You guys are
right. Yeah, I thought somebody was trying to jump in, but yeah, I think that the crowdfunding or the charity giving space is a perfect opportunity for anybody in the world to give to anybody in the world, and it can be based on its own merits. But of course, that's risky.
Well, I seen it firsthand when I went into the hurricane. We were live on air the same night that the hurricane was kind of finishing up, and we announced that we were going to go down there and just help out a little bit. And some of the listeners just started sending us cryptocurrencies. Plus, we already had the funding from Dash, and within an hour, we were spending that money at Walmart and delivering it to people in the storm.
Yeah, I remember seeing you out there on the boat. It was wonderful.
Yeah.